I'm John Peterson.
Hey.
I'm a poet, an author, as well as the publisher of Poetic Matrix Press, and I've had the privilege of working with Reverend Fox, Ruth Rosenthal. You're going to hear from another author that we've worked with, Daniel Davis, here in just a few minutes. I've worked with authors now, about 45 books we've produced over the last 12 years or so. And the joy of being the publisher is that I get to work with these people. You know, I get to work with Jim on something that's important to him, and as I work with him, I get to learn, you know, what motivates him to write what he does, and that's one of the joys of being in my position. We're a small literary press, small poetry press. If you know anything in the publishing business, we're kind of like the indie movies, you know, where, you know, there's an actor who likes to do something really exciting, but to make money he has to go out and do a blockbuster every now and then. Well, we're just the indie over here. We don't have any blockbusters that we get to do, but we get to do some really good work. I brought some of the books that we've done back here. We've done some local authors, and we've done authors all over the country. We've done authors in England. We have a poet, an 80-year-old poet from Korea, that we produced a translation of a major poem of his with commentary by a couple of important academics in Korea. That book that we did was part of his presentation to the 2010 Nobel Prize in Literature that he was nominated for. So we have had, you know, the honor of working with people like this. He didn't win the prize, but the fact that he was there and is of that significance is something that we really appreciate. We've worked with a lot of really good authors over the years and all over. But I write too, although sometimes it's, you know, being the publisher gets in the way of my own writing. So, but I want to read you one piece from a book. See, every once in a while I have to let go of my humility, okay? Authors know about this. Authors are supposed to be humble, but they're not. Because the only way you can be a writer is, at some point, you have to feel that you're good. You know, you really do. Because if you don't feel that, you're never going to put the work out there. So you've got to take that on at some point. So if any of you out here are writing, read your stuff, because it's good. Go ahead and do something with it. So this is a book I put out quite a few years ago. I actually, I mean this, I think it's the best book of poetry I've ever read. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful poetry. I'm going to read you one piece. It's called Thunder Rhythms. I wrote this many years ago. I kept working on it. You know, that's where writing really gets down, when you go back to it and you work it. You know, the inspiration sometimes is great, but it's the work that counts. The work you put into it, the craft that you put into it, the willingness to go back into it and make something out of this raw material that you were fortunate enough to get. Well, this piece, I kept going back to it, rewriting it, working it, put it down, but it wasn't right. I went back to it. I did this for 15 years, okay? This one piece over the course of 15 years. And then there was this one moment, I went back and when I finished the rewrite, I knew it was done. It was just there. And I've never changed a thing in it since, and it's been, you know, 20 years ago at least. So, you know, if you're not willing to put the work in, you're never going to see, well, you may not see the outcome. Of course, there's some other pieces where, you know, I wrote them down and never changed a comma or period. But let me read this one. It's called Thunder Rhythms. It's actually written about a moment out in the back roads of Madera County somewhere, a long time ago. Baseline rolling electric purple thunder rhythms beating on the shining black-skinned roadway. Purple shadows run like summer, run like thunder, run like summer through the many heated hills. Throwing deer brush, buckbrush, bay leaves through the many heated hills. Restlessly rolling through the sunlight subtle distances, eclipsing the mile after purple rolling mile. Break through the barrier of the heart line, begin the drifting and the play. Break the barrier through the barrier of the heart line, begin the drifting and the play. Rolling on with truck sound, rolling on with road sound, arpeggio aura raked in orange, raking sky in dusty arms. Great blue heron flying at the bend in the ever rolling hills. Great blue heron flying at the bend in the ever rolling